Pollster Nik Nanos. He is in Ottawa as well. Nick, so after the debate, what are the polls showing this morning? Are we able to assess from them any reaction to each individual leader last night?
Well, we only had one night of the three-night rolling sample in the bag last night. But the reality is that when we look at the tracking that was released this morning, done for CTV News and the Globe and Mail, we basically have an absolute dead heat, 35-35, between the Conservatives and the Liberals, and the NDP back at around 14%. So what we've seen is a very tight race going into this debate. Last night, very scrappy. I'm not sure if there was a winner. It's going to be interesting to see whether anyone gets a tip of the hat as the winner in the next couple of days. But I think right now we're still at, why don't we call it Indecision 2019? Because that's really sums up this election so far.
Do debates typically change things for some of the leaders?
Well, they can, especially if there's a breakout moment for one of the federal party leaders. But there's rarely a knockout punch. We saw a knockout punch. Brian Mulroney had the famous knockout punch on John Turner when he said that you had an option and had a choice. But those are few and far between. They're epic, historic, and don't happen a lot. Last night was very much like the whole campaign. There was bickering, there were personal attacks, people were talking over each other. There were claims of people not telling the truth and misrepresenting the truth. And it was kind of like a really bad wrestling cage match where they're all thrown in the cage and they're scratching each other. So I'm not really sure that anyone really came out ahead. Jagmeet Singh did a very good job. He looked very natural considering he's among the newer federal party leaders. But you know, the thing is, whether that converts into support for the New Democrats, that goodwill for Jagmeet Singh, is hard to say right now, because right now people are firmly fixated on Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau.
Right. And so, as you mentioned, you know, just seeing one day of the rolling average there, when might we see full results from maybe reaction to the debate? Because we're talking about it today. A lot of people who didn't watch the debate last night are distilling it through what they're reading in the media or watching in the media or hearing. So will we potentially see either an uptick one way or the other in the coming days?
Yes. Well, we'll probably have a first sense of that tomorrow, because we'll have a full kind of night and a half factoring kind of the Alberta sample. But by the end of the week, we'll know the full trend line. But the real trend line to watch is coming out of the holiday weekend, because in my experience, during long holiday weekends, during election campaigns, families, friends get together after they talk about the niceties of life and work and all those great things. They turn their attention to politics. People are more likely to be influenced by a loved one, a neighbor, or friend than by any kind of attack ad. Looking at the trend line on Tuesday, Wednesday next week will be critical, because there won't be enough track in order to turn it around. CTV, Globe, and Nanos will be polling all through the holiday weekend, except the statutory holiday on Monday. So maybe on Monday, as we're having our Thanksgiving dinner, we could look at the numbers from Saturday and Sunday and see whether any of the two front-running parties can break away from the pack to try to win this election.
It is going to be interesting. Nik Nanos, CTV's pollster. Appreciate it as always, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you.